you will be delighted to know that, as always, of course, that question very much depends on a mixed set of variables. Specifically, how competitive is your product? Whereabouts are your customers outside of Amazon? Can you find your customers on Facebook? Can you find your customers on Google? Do they all congregate on YouTube or Pinterest or Instagram, whatever it may be? So it's very, very difficult for me to give you a definitive answer to that question, Tessa. And if you think about it, you'll understand why. But what I will say is this. Well, look, here's a classic example. Here is Anita Leo's results for a Google AdWords that we set up for Anita as part and parcel of the Advanced Inner Circle, where we're doing a case study on Anita's business. So we did $6,477 in revenue in 7 days, mostly thanks to Google AdWords, and that cost the sum total of $61 from memory, $61 to create $6,477. So that's one side of the coin. I can also tell you that another side of the coin is that there are a number of products that I have been a part of launching on Amazon.com where it has cost upwards of $5,000 to launch those products on Amazon. So upwards of $5,000 we've spent launching those products on Amazon when you factor in giveaways and all the rest of it. And a simple rule of thumb, let's see if I can give you an easy kind of rule of thumb. A simple rule of thumb is if we come over to my good friend, have I got it open? No, I haven't. Merchant Words. If we come over to Merchant Words, and if you type in your particular thing, whatever you're looking at, so let's just do body butter, just because it's in one of my searches that I've done recently. So body butter, 340,000 searches for that, which usually means a lot of people are looking for it, which usually means a lot of people are selling it as well, all right? The higher the number of searches on Merchant Words, usually that correlates with increased competitiveness, and increased competitiveness usually correlates with higher costs to launch. So that's a pretty good rule of thumb. I will also say as well that it is usually much cheaper to launch on Amazon.com.au. So here in Australia, it's usually much cheaper to launch on Amazon.com.au than it is to launch on Amazon.com for a number of different reasons. But the easiest one is less competition on Amazon.com.au. So you get to spend less to get a good result in terms of your keyword ranking on Amazon here in Australia than you would do in America. So that's something else to consider. And also there's a good argument to be made as well that launching in a country outside of the country where you live has got costs associated with it that usually you don't really think about, but you generally speaking have costs associated with it that you wouldn't have if you were launching in your own country. So you tend to have to outsource more things if you're launching a product in another country than you would do if you could do them yourself if you were doing them in your home country. So that's something else to consider as well, Tess. So a lot in that answer, but there is a lot to launching a product. There is no one size fits all. There is no this is the magic pill for launching a product. There are, as I've laid out in great detail, a number of things that you do to launch a product, and how much you do of those individual components is dictated by the product you're actually launching. So your product and your marketplace and the competitive landscape of the product you're launching all factor into what it ultimately costs you to launch that product on Amazon. And as a general rule of thumb, again, the more money that can be made in a product category, in a product niche, the more competitive that niche will be. Therefore, the higher costs you will incur by launching in it, and also the higher potential profits you can make by selling in that category too. So you weigh those two things up against each other based on your own particular budget. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales have used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.